Our plum tree has exploded, and we are going to make some plum butter with it.
So the first step is to get the plums good and ripe, and most of those plums in the bowl are not quite ripe enough yet, but we're picking them out as they get ripe.
They're the ripe ones.
You know, good and ripe. Some of them are even having like skin split, that's getting a little mushy. That's how you want them. Most recipes for plum butter call for cooking the plums first, then removing the pits and kind of trying to strain the skins with the food mill. I don't want to slave over a hot stove or with boiling plums, so we're gonna cut them up and put them in the blender first, and then cook them down.
Bill is cutting out the pits and putting the fruit in the blender. So after attempting to cut out the pits at first, Bill just realized that they are ripe and mushy enough that you can just squish them and pull the pit right out. Alright, so we have the blender completely full of plums, and now we're going to blend it up. So here's step 2 of our plum butter making. We've got all of this plum butter that Bill has been slowly making over the week.
This is plum puree.
Or sorry, plum puree that he's been making slowly over the week. And that's it's a huge pot full of plum puree in there. And so now we're just going to let it simmer and boil down a bit, right?
That's the next step, yes.
Okay.
Need to reduce it by like half.
So it's really reducing down now. It's been about almost 3 hours now, and it's just about there, you think?
It's definitely getting there. Getting thicker.
Alright. It is now completely reduced. It went from 2 gallons to about, what would you say?
I'd say that's at most a gallon.
Yeah, so it's reduced by almost half. We're putting the spices in now.
So for 2 gallons of initial plums, I'm guessing about a tablespoon of cinnamon. We're putting in about a tablespoon or a little less of cardamom. We're going to put in about a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Since that has alcohol in it, it needs to go in while it's still hot. We're actually going to let it finish cooking. It's almost done now. We're going to let it finish cooking and cool down a little bit, and then we will sweeten with stevia.
We're going to sweeten it with stevia instead of sugar so that we can keep our sugar intake down.
Let it cook for maybe another 5 minutes just to boil off the alcohol from the vanilla extract, and then once it's cooled down a little bit, then we'll put the stevia in.
Alright.
So we put like 16 squirts of stevia in, and it was still a little bit tart, not quite sweet enough, so I'm adding some
raw honey.
Wild Naked Honey.
They had that at Costco recently.
Yeah. Raw honey from Washington State. So we'll see how this does. And this is why we do it while it's still warm, so that the honey will stir in and dissolve evenly. Getting there.
Yep.
It's still tart though.
Yep. Alright. It's all done, so now we are scooping it into little containers to put in the freezer, since it's basically like a freezer jam.
And we're just too busy / lazy to can it.
Yeah. But freezer jam works just as well. Just have to have the freezer space for it. So we've got a big one and 2 little ones to give to our families for gifts. And then we'll have the rest in our freezer. Alright, Bill's gonna give it the ultimate taste test. How is it?
Sweet with a kick.
It does have a kick. I just
feels it.
I just tried it and it does have a kick, but it's in a good way. It's really good. And here it is, our homemade plum butter on a piece of toast. It's pretty yummy. If you guys have any questions about how we made the plum butter, or if you guys have done it in a different way, I'd be curious to know how you guys do it as well, or with different fruits and what kind of varieties you do as well. So don't forget to leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Bye!